If you are a first-time homebuyer, it can feel like everybody else knows exactly what they're doing except for you. People are talking about pre-approvals, closing costs, escrows, appraisals, inspections. And you're sitting there wondering, what the heck does that actually mean? If that's you, don't worry. We're gonna break down everything you need to know about buying your first home in this complete first-time homebuyer's guide. Hi, my name is Elise Moore, and for the last 10 years, I've been helping first-time buyers in Plainfield, Oswego, and the surrounding suburbs make great decisions about real estate. Step 1, before you ever consider looking at homes in person or even online, figure out what your budget is. Now, when I say budget, I don't mean figure out how much you're qualified to purchase. I mean figure out what kind of a monthly payment you are comfortable with. Now, that's not going to be based on what Zillow says. It's not going to be based on what your friend says or your parents say, and it's not going to be based off of what the bank says. This is about what feels comfortable for your life, because you still need money for groceries and a gym membership or daycare or vacations or any of those other things that are important to you at this stage of your life, because a house should support your life, not consume it. Step 2, get pre-approved. Now, a pre-approval is when a lender actually looks at your entire financial situation to verify that you are qualified to purchase a home. So they're going to review your income, your assets, your debts, and your credit score to make this determination. Think of it as kind of getting permission to go shop for a house. Without it, you're guessing, and with it, you're shopping confidently. Step 3 is to know how much cash you need to purchase a home. So this is where a lot of buyers kind of start to get a little bit confused, because there's a few different things that you're going to need money for when you buy a home. The first is the most common one, so that's going to be your down payment. Now, the exact amount of your down payment will depend on your loan, but as a general rule of thumb, if you can save up 5% of your goal purchase price, it's going to be a good jumping off point. Now, if you're looking here in Plainfield, Oswego, Shorewood, Joliet, any of those areas, your kind of entry-level home is going to be $300,000 to $400,000 or so. So plan on $15,000 to $20,000 as a minimum for your down payment. And just know that you can go up to 20% or more on down payment. The next thing that you're going to need money for are your closing costs. Now, closing costs are basically the costs associated with both setting up your loan and transferring ownership from the current seller to you. Think of it as if you were buying a concert ticket, right? The ticket costs one amount and the processing fees cost another amount. Now, the good news is, because of the way that taxes work in Illinois, a lot of times the exact amount of closing costs isn't a huge burden to you on the buy side financially. But even still, as a rule of thumb, I would plan on another 1% to 2% in closing costs. So on that $300,000 to $400,000 home, call it another $3,000 to $4,000. You're also going to need money for your home inspection. Now, your home inspection happens after we secure your home and before we close on it. It's when we bring in a non-biased third party to go through the home with a fine-tooth comb. Now, this is something that you absolutely do not want to skip. It is not worth saving the money and skipping this one. Depending on the home that you purchase and the scope of your inspection, plan on it costing $500 to $1,000 for most first-time buyers. And then finally, you're going to want some money for the fun stuff, for furnishing your home, or painting, or maybe replacing the carpet, or getting new floors. Those are the things that come after the actual purchase, and they're not 100% required to purchase, but it will make the experience a little bit better if you have that available. Step 4 is where it gets fun. This is where we're going to start looking at homes. Now, remember, we're not just shopping for the house. We're looking at the neighborhood, the backyard, the commute. How flexible of transportation do you have? For example, if you're commuting to the city and you are in the very southwest corner of Plainfield, it's tough to get to the highway, and that's going to make a huge difference in your day-to-day life as a homeowner of that property. Remember, you can change a kitchen. You can repaint, you can change the floors. It's really hard to pick up the home and relocate it. Step 5 is to make an offer. Now, when we find the home that you're really excited about, that fits your needs, you're going to craft your offer on the property. Now you're gonna work with your agent and your lender to craft an offer that makes the most sense for you and the current market. And it's gonna include things like your purchase price, your closing date, but also your down payment. It's gonna include how much money you're gonna put up front before closing. It's gonna include what date you're gonna close on, what is the seller gonna leave with the home. All of those items are negotiable in this process. Now the seller can accept it, they can reject it, or they can counter it. And most sellers will do some level of countering. There's gonna be a little bit of back and forth, and that is very, very normal at this stage of the game. Now, once you get your home under contract, you've agreed to all the terms with the seller, we move on to step 6, which is paying your earnest money. Now, this is where things can get a little bit confusing. Earnest money is your good faith deposit on the home. Here in Chicagoland, we typically see about 1% of the purchase price being utilized as earnest money. We'll usually round it a little bit just to make it easy on everybody. And that money is due within a few days of going under contract, and then it is credited to you at closing. This is not above and beyond your down payment. Now, step 7 is that home inspection that we talked about earlier. This is your opportunity to really get acquainted with the home. Now, the inspector is going to help identify safety concerns, how things have been maintained, and what kind of expenses you could reasonably incur within the first couple of years as a homeowner here. This kind of becomes a secondary round of negotiations depending on the terms that you agreed to in your initial contract. Now remember, no home is perfect, not even brand new homes. So your agent's gonna work with you on understanding what's a reasonable request and what's not, and what's a scary item and what's not. Step 8 is going to be appraisal. So appraisal is when your lending team sends a third party out to verify that the home that you're purchasing is worth the price that you're paying for it. Think of this as kind of the bank getting a second opinion so that they know that you and this home are a good investment. Step 9 is going to be underwriting and loan approval. And this is probably overwhelmingly everybody's least favorite part of the buying process. This is basically when the bank is going through your file and making sure that you as a borrower are a sound investment. So during this process, just understand that they're going to be asking for a ton of paperwork. They're going to want your pay stubs. They're going to want bank statements. They're going to want to see what that random $3,000 that was just deposited into your account, what that was for and where it came from. All of this is very normal. Like I said, they are verifying that you are a sound borrower and that there is nothing illegal going on. There's a lot of federal guidelines that they have to follow that they're checking in this part of the process. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that once you go under contract, you do not want to be changing your financial situation for any reason. That means don't go finance furniture, don't go open a new credit card, do not buy a car, do nothing to change your financial situation because it absolutely could impact your final loan approval. And if something happens, so let's say you're going through this process and you get a great job opportunity, or God forbid you lose your job, make sure both your real estate agent and your lender know immediately so that we can get in front of it. This isn't the kind of thing that you want to hide because it will come up. And step 10 is closing day. So on closing day, you are going to get one more opportunity to go through the home and make sure that it is in the condition that you expected it to be in. From there, you're going to go off to closing. Now here in Illinois, we close at a title company, typically with a real estate attorney present. They're going to go through 2 huge sets of paperwork. The first one is going to be for your loan. They're going to have you sign everything, verify everything, and send it off to the lender for final approval. Now at this point in the game, your loan has been approved. They're just double checking everything. Don't be concerned if they come back with a little bit of extra paperwork or some documents. It's very, very normal. The second set of documents you're going to sign are your title documents. So that is what actually transfers the ownership from the current owner to you. Basically, think of this process as signing your name so many times that it starts to look foreign and then hanging out a little bit where everybody verifies the paperwork. Once that's all said and done, you're going to get the keys to your brand new home. A couple things that first-time home buyers should be watching out for. First, don't spend every dollar that you have. Keep some kind of an emergency fund. Now, how much that is going to depend on you and your comfort level, but even $500 set aside for a rainy day will give you a little bit of peace of mind. Home ownership does come with surprises, and getting in front of those and planning for them will make a huge difference in your experience as a homeowner. Don't only focus on the price. Now, don't get me wrong. You should be looking at how much your home is going to cost you, but understand that it's not just the price that comes into it. Your monthly payment is made up of the prices, the taxes, the insurance, and the homeowners association fees. So if you have two homes that are the exact same price, but one has taxes that are $2,000 a year less, that's going to change your payment by about $160 a month. Insurance can also have a big impact on your monthly payment. So a home that has a pool is probably going to have a higher insurance premium. Or a home that has a really old roof is going to cost you a little bit more in insurance every month. You have to look at all of these things together when deciding on which home is right for you. And lastly, don't be afraid to ask questions. The buyers that feel the most confident throughout this process are the buyers that are speaking up when there's something that isn't quite clear to them or something that's concerning them. My job is to answer all of your questions and make sure that you have guidance and support and feel confident through this entire process. Buying your first home doesn't have to be overwhelming. The process is actually very, very manageable if you understand what's going on and you have a team that you trust. If you're thinking of buying your first home and want to have this conversation specific to your situation, drop us a line. I am more than happy to help. And if this was helpful to you, please like and subscribe.